you become a dream guide and you work in other people's dreams. You become so lucid that you know that you're dreaming, and when you know that you're dreaming, you can control the situation. So you can create doors or portals and go to other worlds or do whatever you want. You can call even, people loved ones who passed away, and you can just speak to them as if it were yesterday.
So you're saying that people can consciously control their dreams?
Yes, they can. I actually tested this up for myself. This is how I started to believe and open it up. I'll share the story. It started with, it's a story of how I got a job on a cruise ship. And it started with me having a nightmare of a scary monster chasing me, and I became lucid in the dream. And so I walked up to the scary monster. I said, "Hi, by the way, you're not real." And poof, he disappeared. And I looked at this dank, dismal place I was in, and I thought, tropical paradise. And there I was, standing in a tropical paradise. I awoke the next day thinking, this is really interesting, because the night before I was reading a book about dolphins, and it was saying how dolphins use 100% of their brain and 50% when they're sleeping. Humans use 10% of their brain in their waking life and 100% while they're sleeping. Now, I know a lot of people will argue about us using 10% of our brain. We actually do use 100%, but we're only conscious of less than 10%. So therefore, that's why I say that. So this had me thinking then, does that mean that dolphins consider humans to be asleep? I wonder if I were to be aware that I was dreaming in the waking life, could I control it like I did the dream? So I decided to test it out. I went to the calendar and I wrote down April 14. Somehow I'd be in a tropical paradise. It would all be paid for. And my thoughts about dolphins would lead me to dolphins. The next day I went to set, and because I was working in the film industry at that time as an extra, and a friend of mine said, Jess, you'd be really good working on a cruise ship. And I said, well, I thought about it, and I've looked in on it, and I know it's not possible because you need to have a secondary education. I don't even have high school, so I don't stand a chance. And it popped into my head, Jess, you're dreaming, you can do whatever you want. And I was like, oh yeah. So I went for the interview, and I had this very intimidating woman from Harvard interview me. And what I did was I researched the company 3 different ways: guest aspect, crew aspect, and business aspect, so I knew more about her company than she did. And then all an interview really is just 20 different ways why you want to work for their company. Rather than saying I'm a people person, hard worker, fast learner, I just looked her square in the eye and said, yeah, I'm more action than talk. Put me on this ship and I'll show you what I can do. And then from there I was flown from Vancouver to Seattle, Seattle to Texas, Texas to Miami, where I stayed overnight, Miami to San Juan, San Juan to St. Kitts, where I caught my ship exactly April 14. My job was to be the host, coordinate, arrange all the activities and events, explore mine rooms, and swim with dolphins.
Wow, that is great. So are we dreaming now,
yes,
or
we
are we dreaming when we're sleeping?
Yes, we are. Even nature spirits say that, we're so unconscious, and because we're not aware of what we're doing in this realm and the dream realm, we've split the two. You know how everything is in polarity, the waking and the dream realm, but now they're starting to collide into each other to the point where you can't tell the difference between waking life and dream life. Because
Tell me about
is becoming
it,
stranger than fiction. But that's part of it. It's coming back into unity again, oneness again, right? So if you understand the purpose of dreams... Sorry?
Because, explain this, because I experience, some of the things that you're saying, and, I'm telling you, sometimes I'm like, wait a minute, am I awake? Am I asleep? Was that real? Was that it? It is really hard to tell, so... if you would elaborate on that, or maybe how we could get our minds right to even know the difference.
Okay, well, first of all, one of the exercises I give, it's in my poems. All my poems are keys to this kind of teachings, and it's called The Nightmare Gift. And it's really about how nightmares are actually a good thing, that we're given the opportunity to deal with these darker aspects of ourselves, the unconscious, in the etheric, in the fourth dimension. And if we do it like the proper way, in which we don't fight it or run from it, but understand it, because to understand the dark is to be free from the dark. There is no way around it, I'm sorry. And you also fall in love with it because you be just unconditionally understanding, or you realize that, this is a really hurt aspect of yourself that is vying for attention in by whatever way possible. Then you end up clearing and healing it in the etheric. They disappear, or they change form and are your friend, and it's been corrected. Then you'll find that in your waking life, whatever problem you had in that particular nature is suddenly just corrected and healed. It just goes away. But what's been happening is people have been taught to fight and run from their nightmares. And so what happens is it's not dealt with, and so it manifests into your physical waking life, 3-dimension, and you have to deal with it here, which is a lot more harder and scarier. So many people doing this for many years has, as a collective, we know that our world is created on a co-collective, co-creative mentality of all of us. We've manifested a living nightmare. By not being responsible.
Yes, absolutely. Responsibility is key. And, you know, I think that's one of the major blocks as to why people don't want to recognize or acknowledge this aspect to life. You know, I'm looking on the text chat, and a few people said, well, I never dream, or I rarely dream. What do you say to people who think that they don't dream?
Everybody dreams.
Okay.
Everybody dreams unless you've mastered your dream realms. But they just don't remember, because what's happening right now is the dreams are becoming, what a dream actually is yourself with 100% conscious. So that means when people do dream, it doesn't make a lot of sense, because it's all the lives existing simultaneously, and our waking brain, it only operates in beta, so it has a concept of time and space, right? And this kind of makes things very fragmented and don't fully understand it, because it's operating through that kind of capacity. So it's just this jumble.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying that possibly we wouldn't remember our dreams because we're not using that part of our brain when we wake up. We're just not conditioned to even recognize that. So
well,
it's
our
totally
sleep is disturbed. We wake up by alarm clocks. All these unnatural things cause us to jolt awake, and it's harder for us to maintain the memory of our dreams. And a lot of times people are astral traveling a lot as well. And what's happening is people are having such bizarre experiences in the dream and in the waking life, and our conscious mind acts like the Illuminati. It's like a filter within our education and our media, where it decides what you can see and what you can't, what's reality and what isn't, and everything that, because paranormal activities are happening to people all the time. Everybody has had contact with extraterrestrials. They just don't remember, because their conscious memory, who acts like, who decides what our reality is based on the blueprint that was given to us when we were younger, conditioned, programmed into our brain, just hides it from you. It files it to the bottom of the pile. And now what's happening is we've been doing this for such a long time, it's filing to the top of the pile. And what happens is it bleeds through into your waking life and your reality, and you have to deal with it. And you have to face it.
Ain't that the truth? I mean, how eloquently described. I just think that's beautiful. Is there anything that you can recommend for maybe some of the listeners to hold on to these dreams, or maybe, remember a little bit of them?
Yeah, they can have dream catchers. Those are very helpful. They can write notes under their pillow. They can ask their dream guides. I always have before I had a dream guide that I called up, I just created, if it's all your imagination, and your thoughts create it all, then you can have a lot of fun with this. And so my dream guides would always interpret my dreams for me and what they meant. So, that's why Einstein said imagination is more important than knowledge. It bridges these two worlds.
So leave notes. You should have a notepad by your bed.
Yes, definitely. You should. There's all kinds of exercises online, too. I've never looked at them, but I've heard of them. And, waking up at certain hours allows you to retain and remember more of your dreams. Paper, you can write a special note to your dream guides or to your subconscious self to retain the memory as well. You can just say, tonight I'm going to remember my dreams. Tonight I'm going to remember my dreams over and over. Like I said, I'm a dream guide, so I could probably go and visit all the listeners. I can do this very easily, and I can help them remember their dreams as well. So it's really interesting. As I, started traveling, wherever I went, people recognized me, and they're like, I know you. You're in my dreams, and you were guiding me and teaching me esoteric knowledge. And it was really funny, because some even say I was their guide when they were a kid as well. And this one woman, she was 60, and she said I was her guide when she was 5. I'm 26. So
wow.
This penetrates time and space as well. I realized that I am also my own guide as well when I was younger.
Wow.
Yeah.